Welcome back, everybody. It's June 2nd, and we're just about to hit midnight here pretty soon. I reckon we'll probably be going to midnight. We'll be on the 3rd, probably around the time, by the time we close this reading. Today there was quite a bit of news as far as the natural world is concerned. Mainly a number one most significant volcano has erupted again, Mount Etna, and Etna was erupting in 2020. It was 2020. That's when there was those big when it started spitting lava and erupting, and now it's active again, and I'm not surprised, considering it was so active before, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, I reckon it's been pretty active ever since it started spewing in 2020. But the news that came, that's new news today, as of these last 2 days, the activity there is serious, and considering the everything that's been going on with the energy and the sun and the pressure and I'm really not surprised, and it's crazy because the pressure of the last, I don't know, I would say within the last couple weeks or something, was really serious, and of course the heat was really serious, and the sun was very serious, and the volcano erupting brought me immediately to just recently I was touching my forehead, and I felt I kept feeling this like little stinging in my forehead, and I was sweating, so I thought, and it felt like I had some kind of scratches or something, and I thought, God, what is that? I thought, how it could, and it really could, like salty sweat going into scratches, and then I got out a mirror and got in a really good light and looked at it and realized that the heat, as of the heat had caused my skin to blister, and then of course, you know, they must have been they were, you know, different sizes, and then of course I would probably touch them or scratch them, and so they made these like little kind of cuts, and that's what the stinging was, and it made me realize just how hot and pressurized the heat was in my body and also outside of my body. I don't have electricity, and and so and inside of my house, it's significantly hotter inside the house than it is outside. So, and there was never any real relief, except for like dumping. I was just like constantly dumping water on myself, which it was so dry and serious, the heat, that I would completely soak myself in water, and within minutes, every single thing would be completely dry. That's how serious it was. And so it and I guess that I was being baked, like how chickens, like you bake a chicken and the skin blisters, or if you get sunburn or something, and I wasn't in the heat. I wasn't much in the direct sun. Not that much. I wasn't, it was just the heat, like being baked, which I knew I was being baked, but I personally, I get into it. And I used to do a lot of sweat lodge and temescal and stuff like that, and like hot and wet sauna, and I get into it. I like the opportunity. It's good. I don't need a teepee or I can just be in my house, the sweat lodge, and live in it, and which is good. It's good. And I don't recommend it. I think it can kill you really easily. So I saw today that the volcano is exploding. Not only has it exploded, it is exploding. It'll continue. It looks like this is the beginning of what will be an ongoing thing, as it was before in 2020. It was 2020 or 2021. I'm not really sure, but I know that it continued and continued. It kind of looks like it's going to continue that, and I want to read in this moment, and I've pulled the runes already, and I have the cards here. I haven't started shuffling the cards yet, but I do want to read, and my apologies if I sound kind of funny, or even a little spacey or something. I have been getting baked like a chicken, and it kind of, it does a little number on your brain for sure. It kind of cooks your brain, and I like it. I like the feeling. When I walk around outside, I feel like I'm kind of floating, and it makes me not care about anything. I think that it would be a good. It's like a natural Valium. Natural Valium. Maybe people are feeling this kind of. Maybe, I don't know, maybe people are feeling this without being in the heat. But let us begin. I pulled 3 runes, and the runes that we were given is on weirdness, Theo, and Ask. Present gateway Verdandi is the translation that's given in this on weirdness rune number 38, and so that would be a 10. It's a 38 and a 10. No, see, look how funny I am. It's an 11. I've been having I've been having trouble lately with things like that. I noticed that other people also are having troubles with numbers and kind of spellings and maybe communications. The communications are funny, which would make sense because it's the season, it's Gemini season. And I think now that we're really in the Gemini energy, because this is like the big, this is kind of the almost midway point, almost. We're getting near the middle ground of Gemini season, and I think I think that that's going to be a theme for Gemini season, is this kind of dyslexia, this kind of having problems with the translation, with the communication, in the people, not being able to kind of access things or remember things, or maybe things are kind of coming to you. So just the general category of translation and communication, and I'm getting the word definition. Present gateway Verdandi. So it's some kind of gateway point, that is for sure. The astrologers, the people that know the astrology of what's going on, I have been listening to people that know the astrology of what's going on, and there's a lot of interesting things happening. The next rune that we get is Theo, wealth, livestock. Wealth, livestock. This is kind of leaning into materials, the things that people have, their resources, food. But it's also leaning into feeling really good. Wealth would feel really good. It's giving me these kind of I'm getting the spirit of ecstasy, which is the name of the head ornament on the Rolls Royce. Spirit of ecstasy. Always love that. So I'm getting the spirit of ecstasy. Just kind of, I'm getting jewels. I'm getting so a lot of beautiful Venusian stuff is coming through there with Theo. And then what do we have here? In the last we have Ask. personal Yggdrasil. So that would be the volcanic energy, because it just spewed a whole bunch of ash into the, and that stuff is really dangerous and really impacting to the environment. I'm remembering El Nino. This is really old. This is really, there was El Nino, and there was this environmental impact that apparently El Nino created. Nowadays, I'm not real sure. But that way, personal Yggdrasil, but we're going into the spirit of things, so the nature spirit and ash person. So ash also it's the lightness of powder. And it's Yggdrasil, so this is speaking of trees, old things. Volcanoes would be really old things. I'm getting ancestral lines with this. Energetically, the Mediterranean, like Greece, all that, the old, the areas, the lands of the gods, really, and it really is beautiful. That is really a really beautiful area of the world. Italy and Sardinia and all in Greece. I mean, it's so beautiful there. I have the cards, and the cards are giving, before we shuffled, they gave me the 10 of clubs. So on the, this is the one card on the bottom of the deck, and so this is the energy before we cross into the present energies, and I would say this is the energy of the moment, which will change. We're going to start to see the new energy as soon as we pass this 10 of clubs clovers, which would be the ending of something. And some kind, and imagine carrying all those sticks. And it's trees. And they're giving me the image of really old growth trees. Really, really old growth trees. And I have the feeling that there used to be a lot of really big trees around MT.ETNA that were covered by lava at different time periods, like seriously huge trees. That's what it's showing me in the 10 of clubs clovers. So let us start. Make sure I'm recording here. 1 second. Yes. So, got a kind of funny arrangement here. Alright. Let us begin. I'm very interested in what the cards are going to be. MT.ETNA gets me really excited. Always. I don't know. And you know what's crazy? is that I was actually trying to get there for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. So starting in like 2017, I started to want to go to that area, and it was really bizarre because I don't know anybody there. I didn't know anything about it, but I was being really pulled to that area. I knew nothing about it, except that people said it's a really nice area and that the people were sweet. And I thought, wow. But that's not enough to, the pull I had was outrageous. It was like, gotta go there, but it didn't make it. It almost did. I started to get really close to getting there before 2019. I started to get kind of close to being able to go there, and but there was a lot of drawback for me, just for practical reasons. I started fighting with myself about it. I was like, you just can't, because I did this like my whole life. I'd be going to all these places, and I traveled a lot, and I would get drawn to these places, and it was important, but you're spending your own money, and and you can get to places, and it can become like you can get into like a crisis, because all of a sudden it's like, the worst hotel room, whatever you can get, it's is so far beyond your budget, and I've been to places where I was like, I can't afford to be here. Really being honest, I was like, this is gonna like break my entire life if I don't get out of here immediately. And I had really big fights with God about this. Like, why did you bring me here? What am I doing here? What is this? Draining all my money. I didn't have like on YouTube people have all this sponsorship and anything. I didn't have that. I had to just spend my own money, and in some cases, there's some places you can go and you can work, and some places you can't, and that made a really big difference. And I'm thinking that I had some kind of destiny line that I could have pursued that would have brought me to that area. It might have been favorable, which it might have redirected. It could have been. It felt like it could have been really favorable, but that would have redirected my life, and then that would put me there in this moment, possibly. Which I don't think that I would. I don't think that I wouldn't want to be there. No. Not at all. So they're okay. So they're showing me my destiny lines. They said people's destiny lines are going to be coming up right now. People are going to be maybe seeing things like this, like crossing points that occurred in their life where they didn't go or did go in a direction. You can see it like a map, And they showed me my destiny line I had with that area, and there was an X. So I was blocked from going there, obviously because of this. Because there's, so that's something to look into for yourself. They said that's very accessible. You can just meditate, just get into it. It's a real easy thing to do with your eyes open or closed, and just you can even just say the words. You could just like how people give commands to their phones. Just say destiny lines. And it seems to come up like a little Rolodex, like bing, like Google. You might not even be a very successful meditator or think that you have much psychic ability, and you might be surprised with this. They said that it's if you haven't been able to connect very well with that kind of thing in the past, they said try it out now and simplify. Don't make it complicated. Let's go. All right. So I like what's happening here. I could feel all that pressure. It's good the pressure is releasing from the volcano. Yes. Eight of Spades veils, the pressure releasing. And really good that timing, destiny. Yeah. They said I'm really connecting with Etna here. Etna feels really good right now. And Etna says that she knows that this obviously affects the people around her, but there's nothing that she can really do about it. She is showing me a time period in the future. She says even if people have to go away temporarily, they'll be able to come back. And she's expressing a lot of love. Which is interesting. She said, I love and care for my people. So, what else would you like to say? Six of Hearts, yeah. That is really friendly, soulmate energy. She says that the people that live around me are my soulmates and my soul family. She's really emphasizing this kind of not wanting to offend anybody with this. And obviously this is a timed and destined occurrence, And this has something to do with the connection that the volcano has itself. They also just gave me water purification, which would make sense because water purifies underground when it runs through volcanic earth. It's natural. This is underground water purification. She said that the water, this will help purify water in the future. She's showing me water coming out of the volcano. Whoa. Yes. She's giving me Pompeii. She has some kind of connection with Pompeii. Obviously she would. What else would you like to give us? Ace of Hearts. There's that love energy again. Yeah. And that would be the Ace of Cups too. So I'm getting that cup with the water pouring, spilling out of it. Is going back to the water coming out of the volcano. It's very interesting. Eight of Clubs, Clovers, Nine of Hearts. I can't believe it. The 8 is coming underneath the 8, and the 9 is coming underneath the 6. So this is pointing us to the last reading in Delphi, Oracles of Delphi. So this is connecting with that reading also. They're giving us the 8-8. So we have that 8-8 gate, which is also coming underneath the rune of the gateway rune on weirdness, which is in the 6 and 9 of Hearts is coming underneath Feo. So this is a lot of abundance energy, soul and love abundance. This is going to be seriously emphasized. It's heightened this because the presence of the Ace of Hearts and also the Ace of Hearts underneath Ice. So this is very personal, this kind of love. So this is giving me so this is something, so people are going to start feeling things individually, increases of love within them. Recently, you might have felt or noticed in others increases in pressure, which might have been coming out as anger or irritation or avoidance. I'm getting all that pressurized energy, and that's now released with Etna. Yes. And she said that everybody in the world can feel this release. She says that this is helping people to connect with their natural senses. Yes. Okay. 5 of Diamonds is separation, moving on. I'm getting maturity and a good moving on with this. And it's coming underneath the Ace of Hearts. So this is moving forward in a really loving way, and there's this great relief of the past occurring. That's the relief of the past, and a real separation from it being a 5. And this is coming in the category of values and of the earth. Speaking of the earth, there's a mouse in here. That's where the dogs are crying. There's a little mouse somewhere. I gave the mice some milk earlier, and they didn't drink it. You know, they and I had to give it to them because they were going for it themselves, and they're seriously intelligent. They opened a canister with a bag of milk inside of it that was already open that I had used for tea, and I was like, oh well. And they had kind of messed around with it, and so I thought, well, I'm just going to have to give y'all the whole thing because I certainly can't use it now, which is fine. And so I poured it in a bowl for them, and then they didn't drink that much of it. But they did drink a little bit. I did hear them kind of fighting a little bit, and I did notice that sometimes if you leave something tasty, then they all kind of want to go for it, but then there can be some fighting to get that, and then they all kind of they'll kind of back off, and they'll wait, they'll watch, and then they'll kind of wait till the competition is gone, and then they'll go for it. But it started to rain, so I had to dump it out, or else it was gonna rain. It would be a mess. It would turn into a mess, and so when I went to go dump it out, I saw that there were a bunch of ants inside the milk. Big ants. The natural world lately is doing really strange things. The animals and the insects and stuff are all kind of behaving in this really strange way. They're not they're not, but they're not acting like they used to, which I mean, I can understand with what we've been dealing with all that pressure and the heat and the solar flares and everything that's been going on. I didn't know that ants were into milk. That's new news for me, and so I'm going to do a little experiment. I'm going to put some, because they went into the bowl and then they get trapped, and so that's not good. So I'm going to have to put some milk on like a plate or a saucer, something like really thin, and see if that makes it so that they can, because I guess they like milk, which is something I would have never guessed. And that also might be one of the reasons that the mice became disinterested, because maybe they went to go get the milk, and then there were ants in the milk, which I think that was a surprise for them too. And then they wouldn't want to touch it. So there we go. I think we solved it. Queen of Diamonds. That's giving me a very comfortable energy, very, I'm getting the word allowance. Very peaceful energy. Very easygoing. So this is showing me this is showing me a kind of astrological thing of the leaving Taurus and moving into Gemini. This would be Gemini. That would make sense, the Queen of Diamonds. This is very sweet energy, very, very, very kind, sweet energy. So, what else would you like to give us? Oof, they gave us a bunch of cards here. No. This is the small stack. So they're giving us another 8 of hearts, and the Joker upside down. So that's it. The Joker upside down is can be a hangman energy, which would make sense and would complement this calm, serene energy of the Queen of Diamonds in Gemini season. With this 8 of hearts in the middle there, I would say people are going to be, there's a lot of love in the air. I'd say I'd say this is probably going to pour into not just the individual experience of love, like even today and yesterday, I could feel in the air. I was like, wow. And it was when ETNA was starting to erupt. I did not know, but the last 2 days had this very nice feeling, I thought, and before that, not at all. Really pressurized and really uncomfortable. And then these last 2 days brought in this very, like, almost magical kind of sensation, like flower energy. Just the beauty, you know, when you're in fields of flowers, just that kind of dreamy, real dreamy energy. And I think that's what this Eight of Hearts is that dreamy energy, which is what is in between the Queen of Diamonds and the Joker upside down there. So I'm getting him not necessarily upside down, but more kind of, I'm seeing him more from like a bird's eye view, like the Joker, more like the Fool kind of you know, relaxing in the field, under the tree, in the flowers, in the sunshine. Yes. In the tulips. Tiptoe through the tulips. It's tiptoe through the tulips energy. That's so interesting that's what Etna is giving. Tiptoe through the tulips. And I started singing that in these last couple days. The energy was made. Tiptoe through the tulips in the sunshine. Tiny Tim. I'm getting a lot of Tiny Tim with that Joker. Yes. If I remember correctly, he died in his last performance. It happens, and he was a really big star, and he had a heart attack. And the thing is he had to, in that moment, apparently his wife had been having an affair, which he walked in on, and that was his current reality. And then he died on stage. I don't know any more details around that. He's charming. He said it was a big relief for him, actually. He was a very interesting person. So, I'm going to ask him if would you like to give any cards for the collective, for at all, just any cards at all? Yes. Okay. 7 of Clubs, Clovers. Yes. It's a very individual card, and it's coming in between the 6 and the 9. So I want to take one more. Can we take one more card? Ooh, rough quarters, yeah. Look what he gave us. Another 7 and an Ace of Clubs, Clovers landing on the Ace of Hearts. So this is, so now we have a double 8 and the double 7. This is re-emphasizing the 7-7 gate. I'm not surprised that came up. And I reckon that by July the 7th, we're going to know a lot more about what's going on with Etna. This Ace of Clubs, Clovers, on top of the Ace of Hearts, and also cornering that 5 of Diamonds. So there's going to be a very significant change there, And it's also giving us the Six of Hearts as Gemini season and as June. And it's, oh, okay, I see it now. I didn't see that before. This is the Six of Hearts has the Nine of Hearts underneath it, which is giving it like a mirror, because 6 upside down is 9. So the 6-6 gate is here, the 7-7 gate is here, and the 8-8 gate is here. And there's a lot of emphasis on the month of August. And there's 3 8s there. So we're kind of getting a whole lot of emphasis on August. And this 8 and 5 together are giving us that 13 again, which we had in the last reading. And I like that so much. And that was from Tiny Tim. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was a Cancer. I don't know his birthday. The 7 of Hearts. I'm getting a lot of twin flame energy with this. I think June and July are going to be really big months for the twin flames and soul lovers and soul mates and friendships and stuff. It's really nice, this. So we're going to stop there, and I'm curious to look at the bottom of the deck. 2 of Spades, Veils. So this is Lenormand tapping in right now. This is going to be a Lenormand message, because this is not the tarot, and so this is different. So this is the Lenormand 2 of Spades, Veils. Which I just learned is the equivalent of the Emperor card. So this is pointing again to the twin flames, soulmates, soul family, soul friendships, meetings, facing things, meeting things, and that can even be knowledge, information, getting something, coming close to something materially or physically, getting something that you need. Also, this can be a truth that you need, or a realization that you need. It's the meeting of something true and important for you. So that's it there. We're not going to take any more cards. I really enjoyed that, and I'm not surprised that we had all incredible cards come out, and all 3 of the portholes and gateways, the 6-6, 7-7, 8-8, and another 8. So we're getting a lot of lion energy in there, especially with all that emphasis on Leo season and in August. And we do have one crown on the ground here, and it is the Queen of Diamonds. So it looks like for the next 3 months, the emphasis is going to be on your personal values, and that's in a Libra energy with the Joker. It's balancing with the Joker, which was that Tiny Tim energy. I'm getting masculine and feminine energies balancing. A lot of balancing energy in there, so that's really nice. Thank you for listening, and what a pleasure always to connect with the volcano, with Etna, and she gave us these incredible cards and reminders, really, of things that most people already know about. So this is more of a confirmation of things that we probably already know about, and with all this extra emphasis with those aces, and I love that it's the heart and also the club's clover coming together, passion and power and love with that. It's very positive, this reading. So, I'm going to close the line here. They really want to talk. But I'm going to close the reading, and we'll talk again soon with them. And I'm surprised Tiny Tim came in, and for the volcano reading, and that's so nice. There's a lot of really nice energy available. Really, really nice. And it's there. Reach for it. That's what Etna just said. Reach for it. Which is reminding me of something that one of my late great friends and mentors used to say. Reach for your goal, and your goal will reach for you. I think that's what that Two of Spades veils is kind of reiterating. And it's a good thing to think about, that what you are reaching for is also reaching for you. It's very motivating, that, very encouraging. It's reminding me of other people in my life that said similar things like that. It's about recognition and seeing farther, feeling farther, very good. So, thank you. I enjoyed that, and it's always a pleasure to read with you and for you, always. It's 12:33 a.m., June 3rd. All the best to everybody, and thanks for listening. Have a good day.
Thank you for calling Corno Control TV Radio and Radio for the Blind.